Hello and welcome to this edition of Let's Talk About It. My guest today is Pharaoh Scott. Pharaoh, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely,
All
absolutely.
right.
Now, let me explain to you guys who Mr. Pharaoh Scott is. He is a artist. Man, you're doing some great music, huh?
Absolutely. I'm just working. That's what I love to do with the music. And the more I work, the more I enjoy it. Pretty
Okay.
much. Yes, sir.
Now, you started in music actually at the age of 6. You were
I want to say, yeah, I started real early with music. I think it's funneled down to me genetically, maybe.
Okay.
Because my mother told me that my granddad, he did some music in his day, and she said she did some music to her in her time. And
Okay.
she had a little group. And then when I was about 6, I discovered that that I can sing. So that was my outlet right there.
Okay.
I try to, when I was young, I wanted to keep it away from people. So
Okay.
that was the drawback, that I didn't tell nobody that I can sing.
Really?
Yeah.
So tell me this. So were you just like watching television or watching somebody sing and you started singing, you said, okay, I can sing? Or how'd that actually happen at the age of 6?
I was listening to Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson has influenced
Yeah.
so many people. It's amazing.
Yes, and still influencing people. I still see kids that's influenced by Michael Jackson
Absolutely.
today. And then basically what happened, like he has that such a profound effect
Mhm.
on children, as far as his entertainment and what he does. So me trying to emulate Michael Jackson, started
Right.
singing, and I noticed that I'm starting to sound. I'm like,
Ain't that
I'm
something?
starting to sound good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, in addition to Michael Jackson being one of your influences, I know you also influenced, and I was surprised as I read your information, you're also influenced by Frank Sinatra?
Yes. What happened with when I got into Frank Sinatra, is more so of the jazz type of songs that he does, and I kind of got interested in him through listening to Marvin Gaye, because I pretty much
Okay.
studied Marvin Gaye's techniques and styles, and then by studying his techniques and styles, it kind of led me to Frank Sinatra.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So you can, I guess it'd be safe, rather, to say that your music is influenced by Marvin Gaye and Frank Sinatra.
Yes, sir.
Now, Frank Sinatra has more of a jazzy
Yes.
kind of flavor going on.
Real
right?
jazzy. And the thing with Frank Sinatra, he don't get he has his type hit for what he does is his version of soul, but he don't go too high or too low. It's just real mellow
Uh-huh.
and real clean cut type song flow.
Right.
Or the way he sings, it's nothing like out of tune, and he don't do any riffs or anything like that.
Okay,
So
okay.
some people be like, what do you find so amazing with Frank Sinatra? It's just that he found his niche.
His niche. Okay.
And then he just does it. He did it in a way that was so professional that it caught on to people, and they just loved it. And he hit his people, that type of crowd that he was looking for,
Right.
that like that type of music. But when you talk about that and you throw in what Marvin Gaye does, that soul,
Mhm.
it takes a whole different tone to it.
Okay.
You know, I studied a lot. I looked real deep into it.
Okay.
And I'm like a student, so to speak, when it comes to music a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? In order for you to be successful, a lot of times you have to be a life student
Mhm.
in whatever it is that particular genre that you're interested in.
Mhm.
And if music is what it is, then you certainly have to
Yeah.
be a student of music. How would you describe your sound?
I think my sound more so is very soulful with
Okay.
a touch of jazz. And the thing is, I'm influenced by all good music. It's just not one set of genre that I'm interested
Okay.
in. I grew up I'm a hip hop person, so a little bit of that can be in my music.
Hip hop.
Hip hop, soul, jazz. I would say everything I haven't got into country or anything like that, but
Mhm.
anything that sounds good to me, it can be reflected in my music.
Really?
Absolutely.
All right. Are there any artists that are out right now that your sound is similar to, or would you say that your music has a sound all of its own?
I would say my music has a sound of its own, but from when listening to it and from what people tell me, they kind of say it's more so like a music soul child type sound.
Okay.
You know, with a mixture of jazz, very melodic, very organic type feel. Some people described it as music that they can sit down in their living room or eat
Okay.
to. So that's more so the kind of music I have.
Yeah. So tell me this: what are some of the things that you've done already?
Right now, the things that I've done, I've been really pushing my two songs that I've worked on. One is called "On My Way," and the other one is called "Allow Me." Actually, we just wrapped up the video for "Allow Me," and I'm a songwriter as well. So I
Okay.
get a lot of influence from just life. Period.
Mhm.
So with that, I've been working on "Allow Me" is pretty much a song that's about being a gentleman.
Okay.
And I think that's an element that's probably missing, or people don't think that it's cool no more to be a gentleman.
Right.
So
Like chivalry is dead.
Yeah, and so I wrote a song called "Allow Me" that's basically saying, let me get your coat, let me open up the door for you, all that kind of stuff. Allow me,
Yeah, I like that.
With that song, and then in the video, I kind of drew the video from the 90-Day Theory. From Steve Harvey from Think Like a Man.
Okay.
So I kind of went that route with the video, and when it comes together, I haven't seen the video. The finished product, I want to see it because I think it comes together full circle with what I'm trying to convey over.
Okay. That's great. Now, when is the video actually due out?
The video should be due out by mid-September. I want to say around the 13th of September.
Okay.
Yes.
So we want to make sure we know about that video.
Oh, I'll keep you posted.
So we can share it certainly share it with our audience. And we certainly look forward to seeing it ourselves. Now, in the musical realm, when you're talking about being a gentleman, and the name of the song again?
Allow Me.
Allow Me. When I'm listening to you talk about that particular song, it reminds me of someone that I think still has that in today's music world. But you don't hear it often. And that artist is Jaheim.
Oh, yeah.
Jaheim has... I think he's like cornered that market.
Yes.
For the females and for chivalry and things of that nature. I was listening to his song the other day. I think it was called "Ageless Beauty" or something to that effect. But it's a beautiful song about women in general, where he features older women.
Okay.
Like Lisa Ray, Cynthia Bailey from Housewives of Atlanta, Vivica Fox. These women are all featured in this particular video, but he caters to women.
That's
and I think that's very smart.
Absolutely.
From a marketing perspective. Now you have a uncle that was in a particular movie that I think a lot of people actually know about, and
my cousin.
Your cousin.
Yeah.
It's your cousin. Was it Mo Better Blues?
Yeah, Mo Better Blues. My cousin.
It was a Spike Lee's film, right?
Yep.
Right. Now he was the drummer.
He's the only non-actor, the actual musician in the movie with the band. His name is Jeff Watts. He go by Tane. Shout out to Tane.
Shout out to Tane. All right, from the cousin.
Yeah.
From the bloodline.
It's funny because my grandmother, she's 99 years old, so I have to get information from him about her. Yeah.
Wow. 99 years old.
Yeah.
That's a long life. So tell me this: with your music, what audience are you targeting?
I'm looking for more. I want to reach a very broad, classier audience. Whereas, it's not gonna. My type of music is not gonna be for everybody. If you're a teeny bopper out there, it's not gonna be for that kind of crowd. Yeah, it's not that kind of crowd. But if you're looking for, what they like to call grown and sexy.
Okay.
I just I like to say classy.
All right.
But that's the type of music that I have, and that's just basically what music should be. It make you want to be sexy and be grown and have a drink or do something like that.
Yeah. Or have a drink, and it could motivate you to do more than just have a drink. Yeah. Some things might happen after that. It's oftentimes I hear people say that, like Keith Sweat or Marvin Gaye or Teddy Pendergrass. A lot of babies were born to them. That type of thing or whatever. So it's funny because music certainly does have an influence.
It's a profound effect.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then with a little cocktail behind it, But anyway. All right, we're going to be back with more of Let's Talk About It in just a moment with my wonderful guest, Mr. Pharaoh Scott. Stick around. All right, we're back with Pharaoh Scott, who is an awesome artist. Pharaoh, before we went to a break, we were talking about music and its effect and things like that. We were talking about Jaheim particularly. Now, one of the things that you've noticed in Jaheim's music is...
Basically, he appeals to the women, and I like the way it's what women want. They want a thug on they deep down, they want somebody that's kind of like a rough around the edges, but have a sensitive side.
Right.
And that's the angle he come at. It's real.
Right.
And that's what's real to them. So...
And what I've noticed, and being around musicians and people that are in the industry at various times in my life, a lot of times people are manufactured, and artists are manufactured for a particular audience. They just are, and so so what you sometimes might see in an artist doesn't necessarily mean that that's who they really are.
Yeah, that's
you know.
I can add to that from looking at hip hop. The hip hop community, if you look at it, and I love so many different artists, but it's like their artist life and their personal life can be two separate wavelengths.
Yeah.
You know, what they talk about in their songs and what they do when they go home is something totally different, but it pays the bills, you know?
There it is. And you know, and I'm gonna push the envelope a little further, and I know I probably shouldn't say this thing particularly. Lord forgive me. But I like to keep it real too. You understand what I'm saying? But when you talk about artists, there are also artists in a different genre of music that caters to sometimes the church or things like that, but they don't always reflect that in the life that they live. You know, and then the things that you see, it's like, okay, oh, you're a gospel artist, but you did you just cuss that woman out of, you know what I'm saying?
The 7-Eleven.
Come on now. But you're the gospel artist representing the body of Christ, but you're not carrying. So a lot of times, I'm just being real, y'all. Hey, it is what it is. My good friend Elizabeth Jackson always say, it is what it is. And a lot of times you have the gospel artists, and this doesn't go across the board for all gospel artists. Let me make myself clear. But I myself have witnessed behavior with gospel artists that is so not reflective of what they represent on stage. That's all I'm saying.
That happened.
That's just keeping it real. You know, that's it's just, you know, I think it's important that we just tell it like it is. Because it is
what it is.
What it is. And whatever that is for you. You follow what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The main thing is you have to, when you're on stage, you set an example. Also, when you're off stage, you're still setting the example. And it's not just setting the example for people that these are people that's buying your records.
Absolutely.
People that's buying your music. So you have to always keep that in your mind, that you're setting a constant example. You have to be a reflection of what you write and what you portray and what's coming out in your songs. You have to be a reflection of that.
Right.
So if you're singing about God, guess what you got to be on the street? You have to be godly. That's basically what it all boils down to.
And you're right. I mean, again, that's real talk. And that's what it's about, keeping it real.
Yep.
You know, it is, again, what it is. Now, what's next for you? I understand that you got something coming up where you'll be performing on a venue or a particular thing.
Yes.
Where Erykah Badu that may be a part of that event that you're talking about?
Naturally Isis. It's a big, in Dallas, it's a big, it's not a hair show, it's a natural hair event. And it's basically just embracing natural hair, and it's a big networking it's networking and all that in one. For all the sisters that have the natural hair, they want to be educated on it, or they just want to go and enjoy it. It's festive, and that's September 7th in Dallas.
That's in Dallas, Texas. So you actually, you're not from Dallas. You were originally born in Pittsburgh. Is that right?
I'm a native of Pittsburgh, PA, by way of Connecticut. I have no way of claiming any particular place because I got around so much. So I was born in Pittsburgh. My whole family is there. Big shout out to Pittsburgh Steelers all day. No offense.
All right, watch it now. Watch it. We Texans fans up in here. It's gonna be a fight.
But I was raised in Connecticut. So all my friends is in Connecticut. All my family's in Pittsburgh. Okay. And then I moved down here I moved to Texas, which I love. I love Texas, and you cannot get me out of Texas. Even though I'm up there, I ain't leaving Texas.
Okay.
I tell everybody.
So we got you for a minute.
Y'all got me.
Is that right?
Well, y'all got me. I'm sold.
Okay. Yeah. Fantastic. So you enjoying Texas?
I love it.
Outside of the heat.
Outside of the heat, and you know what? I can even accept that, because after living up north in that cold weather, I can take the heat. I can always jump in some cold water, but you can't jump in no hot water.
So it's a big contrast, in other words.
Yes, absolutely.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, tell me this. Now, with all your music, are you writing everything?
For the most part, I write. I collaborate with producers. The two songs that I'm pushing right now, I co-wrote with a guy named Tom Macklin. He's actually he did songs with Erykah Badu. He's on the last NDRE album. He's a very, very humble guy, and it's just great work, and it's good working with people like him. He's very knowledgeable when it comes to the music, and I enjoy working with him. And in the future, I'm looking forward to doing more stuff with him.
Yeah. You know, I always think it's great when an artist actually writes their own stuff. Because when you write your own stuff, you keep a lot of the money. And so many people don't know that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but the writers actually are oftentimes a lot more financially stable than
the songwriter,
than the singers.
But you know what the singers do? They throw their name on it too. Sometimes,
if they're smart and you can get some points,
yeah, they will.
You know, use that point system. But some of our most amazing talent never wrote the songs. Or didn't do a lot of writing. Whitney Houston was one.
Oh yeah.
Whitney sang beautifully, amazing, but she wasn't a songwriter. But she can sing.
I was just telling somebody the other day, Dolly Parton was one happy camper when
after she
I
did that.
Love You come out. Dolly Parton was like, "Bring it on!"
Exactly.
Keep on winning. Keep on winning them albums for me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because that song, it's amazing what you can do with a song. It could have been in a particular time period, but you could do it again.
Absolutely.
And make it for today, and that's certainly what Whitney did with the song "I Will Always Love You." That resonates in my mind every time I think of Whitney Houston. It's like you can't think of Whitney without thinking
"I Will Always Love You."
Exactly.
And you know, if you're not really thinking about, if you're not a musician or a songwriter, and you just a person in the audience, that's all you think about Whitney. You ain't thinking about nothing else, just but the words coming out of her mouth.
Absolutely.
But people that songwriting, we know Dolly Parton got that check. we sitting back
Dolly Parton
Dolly Parton getting paid right now.
Exactly. You know what? Now you're in Dallas. Are you familiar with Dallas, Austin?
Dallas.
He's out of
Atlanta.
But it was another songwriter that was in. It's actually in Dallas. That's a Kirk Franklin one.
Kirk Franklin, yeah, he's big in Dallas.
Kirk Franklin's big in Dallas. A lot of talent has come out of Dallas, actually.
Actually, you know what? Being here I'm surprised by the amount of people that I meet that's been involved with so many things behind the scenes in Dallas. Just from an extension of Erykah Badu alone, a lot of people ate off of Erykah Badu as far as the musicians and people that did some songwriting and stuff like that and producing. Up there's RC and the Grits band. I love them. I love listening to them. They actually tour with Erykah Badu.
Okay.
But they got their own thing coming out, right? I think they got something coming out during the summer, or they have something that's out. I know I've seen a video last week. Right. But it's a lot of local artists out there. Tashiana Mayfield, she's a jazz artist. Okay. Man, she's phenomenal. She just came from Europe. Guy that I'm looking forward to working with is Michael Hubbard. He's behind the scenes. He's a local producer. But it's a lot. I would say Texas in general, because more people are meeting in Dallas have some type of connection throughout Texas, whether it be Austin or Houston. They have connections all around Texas. I was just talking to a guy that last week that I forgot the name of the singer, and I hate that I forget things so quick.
It happens.
He's working with an artist out in Los Angeles. But it's all about networking. That's the thing. That's what I love about Texas. Okay. Networking is so serious and so it's crazy out here. Yeah. And there's nobody to tell you can't do something. It's like, okay, let me see what I can do for you. Southern hospitality, pretty much.
Right. There you go. You go. Now I know it was a period where you actually kind of dropped out of the music industry.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about that in just a minute when we come more.
Okay.
When we come back with more of Mr. Pharoah Scott. All right. Stick around. All right, welcome back to this edition of Let's Talk About It. My artist today is Mr. Pharoah Scott. Welcome back, Pharaoh.
Thanks for having me once again.
Absolutely. You know what? Before we left off, it was something that I talked to you about. Well, actually, when we took a break, I talked to you about this. Now, you took a break from the music industry for a period of time. What was the reason that you took the break from the music industry?
I had a band member that I was working closely with, and I was close as far as we was working together musically, doing live shows and stuff like that. And it was going good. And then he suddenly passed away. And it was like, it hit me hard, because when something like that is unexpected, you know, you with somebody one day and then the next day it's like, boom, they gone. Right. It's like, it's crazy. Psychologically, it took a heavy, heavy toll on me. So I had to take some time and just relax and kind of chill out. And that's the first time I got an experience like that. Because usually when somebody passed away, it's more like a family member that was passing away, and you kind of expecting
like an illness or something going on.
So it's different when it's just something that's instant.
Right.
So that kind of it kind of puts things into perspective. You know, you live in your life, and you have to take it for what it's worth and live pretty much. And just like I said, he was with me. But one day I was on the phone talking about what we was going to do next and what's the next show we was going to do. Next thing you know, he was in the hospital.
Yeah.
And it was heavy.
Yeah.
It took some time. It took some time for me to like get over that. And between that, the good thing is when people say about closure, I got a chance to tell him what was next for me. Because that was like on the cusp of me coming to Texas. So he got a chance to know that I was coming to Texas and what I was doing with my family and all that stuff before he passed away. But yeah, I took a break, and now I'm back.
And now you're back.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm sure he'd be very proud of you.
Absolutely.
And what you've accomplished and what you're accomplishing
in
the music industry. You know what? If you don't mind, I
Okay.
would love for you to bless our audience with a rendition of one of your songs.
Okay, I'm gonna do a song called "On My Way." Basically, I was inspired to write this song based on what I hear from females. You ever hear females say, "I'm looking for love," and "I'm trying to find love," and all that kind of stuff?
Uh-huh.
I hear people say that all the time. So I'm always in the position where I'm saying, "Don't look for it, just let it find you."
Okay.
You know, just do what you got to do and live. So I wrote a song. I wrote a song about like, here you go.
All right.
All right.
Fantastic, man.
Okay, here you go. More and more as I chase it, it never stays. It just comes and it goes as it pleases, and without a reason, it truly consumes me. Although I know my journeys can take me away to a place where I feel I'm at ease, until I can find it and then I can breathe. I'll fly high in the sky or drive for miles and miles just to have love smile on me and put his arms around me and embrace me with all the joys and happy things. I would search this whole world hopelessly. I'm on my quest thinking hopefully when I'm on my way I hope I run into love, On its way, I hope it runs into me. When I'm on my way, I hope I run into love, On its way, I hope it runs into me. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. All right, you guys heard it here from Mr. Pharaoh Scott.
Thank you.
Keep your eyes open for this guy. He's going to be doing big things in the music industry. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Let's Talk About It. Thank you for being here. And for more information on us, you can reach us at Let's Talk About It 12tv@gmail.com. That's Let's Talk About It 12tv@gmail.com. Now, Pharaoh, how can people reach you?
Any way you can find me, I'm a Twitter, I'm at Phasco Music. That's PHASCOMUSIC with the @ symbol. On Facebook, Phasco Music. You can just like the page. You can go to YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. I do random stuff on my YouTube channel. If you put Phasco Music, I pretty much, or you can just put in Pharaoh Scott and go on my YouTube channel. I do random stuff on there. I'll be singing in the bathroom. You can catch me in the car singing. I'm just doing anything.
Just whatever.
Just whatever. So that's real cool.
I've actually had a chance to see one of your concerts online. I think you were with some older guys, and the sound was more of an old sound, but it was really good. And I really enjoyed it. So you got a lot of interesting things that people can actually take a look at.
Yes, absolutely.
So I know you're gonna have a bright future, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Until next time, we'll see you on Let's Talk About It. Take care now.
All right. Allow me
forget it. We can kick it, talk about what you like or what you wouldn't do. Either way, I'm interested in every single part.